share. You guys are all in the right place. Thanks for joining us. Looks like we have a lot of people. We have 28 people and we're expecting 30, so that's great. I'm gonna have a little background music in the hallway. I have a little 3-year-old who's singing a song. If you hear it, that's what's happening. So I wanted to say thank you for joining us for this Zoom webinar for Southwest Colorado Gives Nonprofits Something to Chew On. We hope that you grabbed your lunch and that you're ready to dive into the presentation today. Remember, you only get out of this presentation what you put into it. So put away the emails, put away the to-do list, and let's listen and ask lots of questions and figure out how you can make the most of Southwest Colorado Gives Day. We want this to be a collaborative meeting. Please be engaged, ask plenty of opportunities to ask questions. This is a group of about 30, but feel free to unmute yourself and ask a question as we go, or of course, you can put it in chat. We'd love to see your faces if you want to show your video. We understand that, some of you could possibly still be in your pajamas. We don't care. I'm going to show you what I'm wearing today. My vote shirt. So I'm dressed much more casual than I usually am, but I had to get one last bearing out of my vote shirt today. And then let's see, what else do we need to say? So we want to admit to you that we are going to launch a poll and it has some typos. Please excuse them. We had a little technical difficulties and we're not able to get in and edit, but you'll get the gist. It's just friggin' typos. And then today we have 2 great guests. We have Dana and Jaime, both from the Colorado First Foundation, and they're going to talk to us a little bit about what's going on. Tracy, do you want to launch that poll?
You bet.
See, I always launch the poll, but somehow I messed it up today.
All right. Does everybody see it? Give me a thumbs up.
I don't. Oh,
okay.
Great. Just us silly hosts can't see it.
There's 3 questions. If you guys want to go ahead and answer all 3 questions, we'll give you a few minutes since you've got to read quite a bit. And then we'll get an idea of who we have on the meeting with us.
So we just had 2 more people join us. Thank you for coming. Please read the polls. You can fill that out for us. And we can see who's at our meeting.
Looks like we're pretty well finished. So I'm going to end the polling and share the results with everybody. Can you see them, Brigham?
I cannot.
Okay, then I will share the results with everybody. So how many years have you been participating in Southwest Colorado Gives? We've got 8 people here who it's their first year. 10 people, about 40%, have been participating in one of the last 3, for the last 1 to 3 years. And then we got some veterans of more than 4 years. There's 7 of those with us today. So welcome everybody. Have you started your social media campaign for Southwest Colorado Gives? So 3 organizations have done at least 1 post, and 1 organization on the call with us today has scheduled their entire appeal for the next 6 weeks. So that's awesome. And the vast majority of you, 21 of you, say you have not started yet. So we're glad you're here, and we will get excited about launching our appeal. And the last question is about our Storyvine app that the Community First Foundation is going to talk to us about today. Let's see how many have created a video. We've got 6 organizations that have created a video about their nonprofit. None have created a donor video yet. So that's what we want to get you guys doing in the next 6 weeks. 10 of you plan to do one soon, and 9 of you, 36% says no. What the heck is Storyvine? So we're going to answer that question today. So thanks for joining us.
Great, thanks, Tracy. So I'm really going to turn it over. This is a very casual meeting. This is really for you guys. So ask questions as we go. Dana and Jaime are going to take it from here. So Dana, I would love for you to introduce yourself and maybe toss it over to Jaime so we know who you are and what you do at Community First, and then let's launch into the content and see what everybody's up to.
Great. It's great to be here today. I am Dana Renderneck. I'm the Director of Online Giving at Community First Foundation. So I'm really the one that runs the program and hopefully keeps it up and going as we move forward. So we run Colorado Gives, which I like to remind everybody is available 365 days a year and available to you guys 365 days a year. Then we have this crazy little day in December which is Colorado Gives Day. And then we also have Kids for Colorado Gives as well. So that's something to think about doing as well if you have a program that's effective for kids and can be used for kids. And then I'm gonna let Jaime introduce himself, and then we'll I'll go through some new stuff that's available this year. And really, he's gonna be the star of the show today. So Jaime, you wanna introduce yourself?
Hello, thank you, Dana. My name is Jaime Aguilar. I'm in Denver, Colorado, he, him, his. I'm a marketing and a communications specialist here at Community First Foundation. I support Dana and her team and all the other electronic efforts, including Storyvine. I'm kind of the point person and manage the back end of that and help you get your videos cleaned up or put together, or I'm very good at support too. I've had this app since May, so I've kind of learned the ins and outs of it. And yeah, I'm glad to be here and answer your questions and show you a couple of examples and try to get you on your way. Thanks for having me.
Cool. And I have my vote necklace on. I have a little bitty vote necklace and my stars and stripes scarf on because this is the time to wear those things. So vote, vote, vote. That's what we say. I can't believe it's already November. I can't believe it's election day. I can't believe Colorado Gives Day is 30. What does it say? Just a minute. And I can tell you, you go to the Colorado Gives website, you can know it is 34 days, 11 hours, 50 minutes, and 54 seconds from now is when Colorado Gives Day starts. So scheduled donations have started. They're coming in. That's exciting. That is, and Tracy asked this question, but that is probably the first social media post. Actually, I think the first social media post to put out there is, hey, we're participating in Colorado Gives Day, and letting the people who support you and know you know that you're going to be part of this day so they can start planning those donations. And then one of the next posts you're going to want to make is, hey, scheduled donations have opened up. So people can get in and schedule their donation. A couple of things to think about this year that is exciting, that I think will really make a difference, is we've lowered the minimum donation to $5. And it was a huge decision for us because we want everybody to participate. That was a big part of why we went down to $5. There was a concern that that would lower the amount we raised. And I actually think it means we're going to raise more, because I think there will be more people that will be able to participate. So I'm very excited about that. So $5 is the minimum. That's another post you should put out there and let people know that they can participate with $5. We do have, again, the option to pay credit card processing fees, and the credit card processing fees are simply 2%, which is one of the lowest, if not the lowest in the industry. If you look at other Gives Days, they have, their costs are crazy. And so we've been very lucky. We've been able to keep it so low for you guys. And then just to remind you of some things that are available on the site. And please do type in questions, because this is really all about you guys. I want to make sure you get your questions answered. But we do have a fabulous toolkit that has the things like what's behind Jaime. So you have a great, lots of posts and lots of graphics that you can use. New this year, we have animated graphics, which are great. So they change so that they're more eye-catching. I think those will be great for social media pieces, because as people are scrolling through, that'll change and it'll draw people in. So definitely use those. And there is the link to the toolkit. So you can get
Dana?
those. Go ahead.
I'd just like to interrupt for 1 second. I just want to remind everybody for the SWCOGives.org branding, we have a Google Drive that's very similar to your toolkit that's got the greens and the oranges and the yellows, and we do more of a red, yellow, and blue branding down here. And so that's the preferred branding that we like to use for
Great.
our neck
So
of the woods.
definitely use those. Use the Southwest Colorado Gives, because that's the cool thing. And I don't know if you guys know this, and I'm going to plug Tracy and Brigham a little bit right now. You guys are very lucky because you have a regional champion down there. So the cool thing is your donors can go to Southwest Colorado Gives, and they're only going to see the nonprofits that are in your community that are part of this. And donors love that. So that's really where you want to send them. If you're not sending them directly to your profile, which is honestly what I recommend, but it's a great way to promote unity in your community because our tagline is give where you live. So you want to make sure you do that as well, is really get them excited about that. We do also have some information available. Another toolkit that we've created that I think will be, it's brand new this year, is, and we call it an ambassador toolkit, activate your ambassadors. And that's really for your donors. So it's to show your donors how they can talk about you. And so that's a great way to help them help you. And so let's talk about that a little bit. One of the biggest things, and I have to tell you, and I love this too, but it cracks me up, is we have a badge that is I gave early. And I'm guessing, I don't know you guys' toolkit as well as I know ours, and I don't even know ours that well this year because they've put so many new things in it. But there's a little badge that says I gave early. Colorado Gives Day, I gave early. And honestly, if you can get your donors to put that on their social media, then that builds the momentum, because then everybody sees it on social media and they're like, what is this? I don't know about this, or, oh, I remember that. I need to think about that. I need to get ready to schedule my donations. So really, that's the easiest way to activate your ambassadors, is to give them that I gave early badge if they've scheduled it. Also on Gives Day, there's a badge that said I gave, or today is Colorado Gives Day. And we have these in English and Spanish. But that's honestly a really good thing to get your donors and your supporters excited about you. All of your board members should have it on their social media, whatever they use, Instagram, Facebook or Twitter, LinkedIn. And I truly don't know, because, I'm up here in Denver, but if you guys have Nextdoor, if you have a very strong Nextdoor community out there, but that's a great place too, to put out messaging for your supporters, is the local, whatever it is that keeps people locally connected, is a great way to think about that as well. So any questions, anything you're thinking about doing? Fundraising pages are big as well. We talk about these all the time. This is a great way to get your board involved, is for them to create a fundraising page. That's that peer-to-peer page, so that they can show they're raising money for you. And that's a good idea to maybe have contests around. You can pit your board members against each other, and you can do things as simple as, it's a little bit harder now in the COVID world, but as easy as, excuse me, the board member who raises the most amount of money is going to bring, it gets to be, or the board members that raise the most amount of money, everybody's going to bring them something. You can do contests where you split the board in half, and the board that raises half, that raises the most money, the other half brings dinner to the next board meeting, or those kind of things. So it's very simple, but people really get engaged. I tell this story all the time. So many years ago, I was interviewed by I'm a Colorado State University grad, and I was interviewed by the Alumni Magazine. And the gentleman who called me said to me, you know, I'm mad at you. And I'm thinking, well, you haven't even met me yet. You guys haven't had reason to be mad at me yet. He said, well, I'm part of the I think it was Larimer Chorale. And we did a contest between the different sections. So sopranos, altos, I think he was a tenor, and the bass. And he said, and the sopranos won. And so every time after practice, we have to pick up after the sopranos. Like that was my fault. His page didn't raise enough money. I told him he needed to work harder next year, get more money in. But people get really invested in this. He really was. He was annoyed because the sopranos had beaten them, which just makes me laugh. So those are great ways to think about how you guys can get your people invested without spending a lot of money on prizes for them, because it really is. People get, board members get really invested. One of our it wasn't a CASA, but a CASA type program, somebody who dealt with abused and neglected kids had a contest in their board. And we have a video on this. I'm pretty sure the video is in the resources section, where the board member talks about how he just created his page and he asked everybody, and he's a police officer. And he got to, at the next board member, he got a meeting, he got a boa and glasses, and he got to be the big celebrity for the day. And he was very excited about it because he had, for the next year, the claim that his page had raised the most amount of money. So think about those kind of things that you can do where board members, because we're a competitive lot. I mean, we really are at the foundation. Our potlucks are crazy competitive when we used to be able to share food and do those kind of things. We will someday. But people are competitive. So dig at their nature for that kind of stuff. Any questions? You guys are all I can see about half the faces, which I totally understand, and I'm no judgment on my part, but I'd love questions, thoughts, anything you guys are very excited about that you're doing this year. I do want to let you know that we are very excited, and we are not worried about well, I'm always worried. That's a complete lie when I say I'm not worried, but I truly believe it's going to be a very good day. All the Gives days that have happened so far this year have been up. They've raised more money than they did last year, and some of them significantly. And I talk about North Texas because that's our biggest competitor in the Gives days space. And they do theirs in September. And they raised $50 million in 2019. And they raised almost $59 million this year. So there is money out there and people want to give. And that's really, really exciting. So don't be afraid to ask. Don't be afraid to tell your stories. Couple of ways that people can give that you may not be aware of is people can give with their, and I'm not going to get all the acronyms right on this, but that's okay because I don't need to. But if you're over 70, it's like 70 and a half, and then there's something about 72 that was just changed. But if you have an IRA, and you're not using it to live on, then you can make a charitable contribution with it. And the nice thing about this for your donors is if they make a charitable contribution straight to a nonprofit, there's no tax implications for this. So it's not taxable income for them. And it's called, if you're over 70 and a half, and I think honestly, if you turn 72 and this year it's 72, you have to take a required minimum distribution, so an RMD. And they have to do this. And if they take it and use it themselves, there's tax implications because that was pre-tax dollars back in the day when you put the money in the IRA. But if they do what's called a qualified charitable distribution, so a QCD, then there's no tax implications. It's not a tax deduction, but they don't have to pay taxes on it. And if they do that with us, then we give them a giving e-card or a giving card, and they can go on and they can give to all the nonprofits in Southwest Colorado with that card. So that's a great way to do it. If they work with their financial advisors, sometimes they have to pay per check. So that's why it's nice if they work with us. And that's available year round, not just for Colorado Gives Day, but we had, I want to say it was $300,000 or $400,000 last year in just IRA donations using this program. So it is something people are excited about. We have information on that on our website that you can pass on to your donors. And it's been in the latest news. I think it was in the latest newsletter. If not, we definitely have information though for you to use. So that's a cool way. If they want to make a stock gift, we can work with them on stock gifts as well. If they want to make a donation, and I say these words like, and it's more understandable now that we've been doing this for a few years, but I used to be shocked when I'd say this. If they want to make a donation over $100,000, they can't do it through the website. And there are donors doing that. So don't, again, be prepared. We can take those donations over 100,000. We do wire transfers for those on Colorado Gives Day. And we have some businesses that will do that, again, so they can give to multiple nonprofits. So that's always an opportunity too. If you have a donor that wants to give over 100,000. So we have wire transfers, we can do stocks, we can do IRAs, and then we are working with our regional champions this year and some other people in piloting a program to take donations from donor advised funds that want to give. And again, it's similar to the IRA process. They'll get a giving card. So we're in the last stages of getting information ready for that, and we'll be sending that out to, again, our regional champions. So we have lots of different ways people can give. We have the $5 minimum donation. I think that's really the big stuff I have. All right. That you guys don't have any questions, then I think I'm going to put Jaime on the spot, and I think it's time to talk about Storyvine, because this is another great way you can promote what you're doing, getting your donors to promote you and you to promote you in a free, because it's free way for you to create a video. And we all know, what is it? 2 years ago, the statistic was that in any given month, the average human being watched 150 videos in that month, which I remember thinking was crazy. And I think since COVID, that number has to have gone up because we're all on all the time. So I'm going to turn it over to Jaime. And if you guys think of questions, please put them in the box in the chat. And Jaime's on mute, because that's what we do in 2020. We're always on mute.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, Dana. Before I go forward to Storyvine, I just wanted to be sure and share some of the things that Dana was talking about in our toolkit. If I can get to that screen. So here's some of the animation that she was talking about. Oh, it doesn't appear on this, but these are the giving badges, and I'll show you where these are located. You know, just to kind of get your people or your donors going, just to kind of remind, we have for Colorado Gives Day, we have for scheduling your donations on giving. That's how we celebrate Giving Tuesday, and then celebrating Colorado Gives Day. So I just want to share just some things that are going on that I've received personally. So this is an organization that incorporated, I'm not sure, oh, there we go. Is that better? Can you see the use of the logos? They incorporated this into their brand. So they took the transparent version that's available of this logo and applied it to their mailer. So this mailer has, on this side is completely Colorado Gives Day information, and on the back was the story they wanted to tell. So it was about the young women that are giving back with their programs, and just kind of their normal mail that they expected to send out. It's almost end of year too, so I'm sure they've partnered that into their collateral. But I got this in the mail this weekend, so it was good timing on their part. This is an email sent from the diocese here. I gotta interference there with my hover over, but they also incorporated the branding into their email. And then they set up this scheduling gifts link. So they're just getting their people mobilized to schedule their gifts for Colorado Gives Day, so they can be eligible for, you know, some of the other boosts in the contest. Here's another one that really kind of took the entire bucket and put it into this email, and it was exciting. It kind of gave an explanation of why they needed you to donate. It's really kind of accessibility, hard to see with the white on the orange, but it was a good incorporation of using the logos and just kind of starting to get that recognition, so that when everyone else is getting on there, they recognize, oh, well, CASA is on here as well. So I thought that was good use of their branding. So I just wanted to share that. Let me see here. Oops, let me stop share. And just one more really quickly. Let me show you where to find those things. I did put the links, and I'll put them again when I'm done. Let me make this full screen. And this is the giving toolkit, and you can find everything, I guess, really that you would need, like from the animation to these other pre-branded badges and Facebook covers. There's some other ones in here that are very like the one you see behind me. These are as well animated, but we just wanted to give you, you know, all sorts of opportunities and posts to use. And even though it says Twitter or, you know, Facebook posts, I would encourage you just to completely ignore that. It's an image that can go onto a website anywhere. So feel free to, you know, put these into your emails, or, you know, use the longer ones to go onto your Facebook feeds. There's some vertical ones; those don't really do well on social media, just because they get cut off. But they're still, like, we have a ton of available things available for you to use, including some printable materials. And
if I could just interrupt for a second for anybody who joined us late, we have all of our Southwest Colorado Gives branding with these same types of posts that are available for this cohort to use in our Google Drive.
Absolutely, thank you. You also find this create your own video, and we'll get to that in just 1 second. I just want to show you one more with our donor toolkit. And again, I'll put these links in there so you have them. If you need these save the dates, we have these calendar files available for you to download. And then the badges, of course, they're right here in on this donor toolkit page. You will notice something different between the two. Oh, I love that hat. You'll notice something different between these two is that when you click here, it will directly download. I don't know if you saw it download to my page there, but when you do it on the other page, it'll show you what you're downloading first. So just take note of that if you can't find the picture after that. And then some more posts. Again, those animated ones that are kind of square and fit better on cell phones. Good for Instagram or even Twitter, Facebook. But it just adds a little, I don't know, razzle dazzle to get some people's attention. And I really like the one that's, you know, give where you live and play and work. You know, they're really great assets to have, just to kind of bring it a little bit more. It's not just about giving, it's about being where you are and contributing back. All right, so on both of these pages, you can find Storyvine. So the way Storyvine works, I'm going to stop sharing just for a minute. So the way Storyvine works, Storyvine is a application that is completely web-based. It uses some programming and storage on the cloud through the company Storyvine. And what they do is that they provide templates for both for people to use, and the ones specifically is the template for donors and for nonprofits. So we've branded it specifically for Colorado Gives Day. You'll see those marks on there. And also we've guided the questions to ask people. We have also guides for you to use to kind of help organize that. I hope there aren't any CEOs in here, because I found the CEOs are very long-winded on this thing, and I understand it's we're either a small shop or we don't have a person to really narrow down those questions for us, but I believe it's a very good guide to consider using. I'm going to jump back in here real quick and show you where those are. And here are those video prompts, and they're downloads. They're just in different downloads, and it gives you the questions that'll be asked. I'll try to show it real quick here. So why giving matters. This is the donor kind of storyboard, what inspires me, and then sharing gratitude. If you just know that these are going to appear on the bottom, you can really take the time to even change that, just to give your message. It doesn't have to be long. You're going to have 3 pieces to a video, and so be creative with it. And I'll show you some examples of what it's going to look like when they are produced. And so here's another. This is one for the nonprofit, and it's good to be short. KISS, they say, keep it simple. And that's my best advice for working on these. It's between that and having someone to help you, I think there's a lot of value in having either a coworker, meaning my wife in my case, or a bookshelf or a tripod if you're that advanced to hold your camera, just something to kind of keep it steady, to keep you from having to stick your phone out all the time. Because I take selfies left-handed, and the app will actually cover the camera. Oh, you can't really see my camera. The app will my hand will actually cover the camera from taking a selfie with my left hand. So that's another thing to keep in mind there. Okay, so I want to show you just a couple of examples before I go into the more deeper how-to. But before I go, I'm going to check the chat to make sure I'm not missing anything. So give me just 1 second here. So I can't chat. Okay, looks like some marketing questions. Okay. Oh, I see your message. Yeah, I'll pull that up. Give me 1 second here. I'm going to start with the donor story. This one is super sweet and short, or it's not the shortest one we have, but I just like the what people are bringing. I think that when you're sharing stories, I think when people speak from the heart and they kind of give you the reasons why, people resonate with that. They resonate with personality. They resonate with showing impact and just showing passion behind what they support. And I think those you will find are quite powerful. Here's just one example. So here. All right, if you can't hear this, please do interrupt.
Hi, my name is Sarah Payne. I'm with my sidekick, Peaky the Pack Rat. We're in Dolores, Colorado, and we're proud supporters of the Crow Canyon Archaeological Center. My parents introduced me to Crow Canyon when I was a teenager. And at the time, I was able to participate as a citizen scientist in a research project that ultimately had a very profound impact on my sense of place and discovering my relationship with the environment around me. And I developed a sense of wonder and appreciation for the ingenuity and resilience of the people who came before me on this landscape. Crow Canyon inspires me to believe in the power of perspective, to think about the many ways of knowing the past and attempt to understand the broader context of human history. Crow Canyon has helped citizen scientists like me, of all ages and all backgrounds, develop a perspective for how science and indigenous knowledge and an appreciation for other cultures can bring us together to think about creative solutions for the challenges that we face today, which is why its unique and important mission is worthy of your support. History matters. Thank you so much. Thank you, Crow Canyon, for all the inspiration that you've provided me all these years. It's been a magical journey, and I constantly question what I think I know, and I'm all the better for it. It's been wonderful to be a part of your organization, and I'm so grateful.
All right, I will say that is a little bit long, but she really had some, personal stories to share. I think that was just a really, it was moving for me, so that's why I chose that example. And that was using the donor template. So I don't know if you realize it said her name, so it really personalized it. I don't remember her name, but it did say it at the beginning, and the organization that she supports. And here is another using the nonprofit template. Let's see if you recognize anyone.
Hi, I'm Brigham Wrinkle, the Executive Director of the Community Foundation serving Southwest Colorado. And I'm here today just to tell you a little bit about why we're regional champions for Southwest Colorado Gives Day. We are here to educate our donors and potential donors about the 85 nonprofits on our site. Our site is SWCOGives.org. Check it out. It's safe, it's secure, it's a great way to learn about our nonprofits and make a donation. It's so important, especially with the difficult times we have. As we all know, 2020 has been a difficult year. We have seen it with our small businesses, our nonprofits, our own selves. We are really looking to finish strong. We want to support our nonprofits who have had to reimagine who they were, who have had to adapt to COVID and working from home, who have, in some cases, have twice the work and can barely get a quick breath. And then others who have halted and had to stop, evaluate, and pivot in order to meet the new demand, the new need, and the new way of life with COVID. Our nonprofits in Southwest Colorado are so resilient. We have seen them be imaginative, we have seen them be collaborative, all to meet the community need with all of these new rules and restrictions. These people are your neighbors, your friends, the people you pass in the grocery store, the people you see on the trails. They are all working to make our community better, and we need your support to make Southwest Colorado a great place to work, live, and play. So once again, here's how you can help. Give where you live, SWCOGives.org. I'm going to tell you a little personal story. At my house, I have 4 children, and we give every year. We get together, we talk about who we want to give to, and last year there was a story that I just love to share. My daughter, who's in college, really wanted to give to an organization that would help people get outside. She loves to climb 14ers, ride long bike rides, get outside in any way that she can. And so we decided on adaptive sports because she wanted to make sure everybody had the opportunity to get out. And that give was so from the heart. Please visit SWCOGives.org, look at the 85 organizations that are there, and I'm sure you'll find some that sing to your heart. Thank you.
Woo-hoo, good job, Brigham.
I'll share that round of applause. So that was great. Thank you for sharing, those personal stories in there. It does add a little bit of impact, a little bit personal impact. Ideally, as people are so eager to absorb content, absorb video, sometimes the shorter the better. So I would not, deter you, or I would encourage you to consider making, some really quick ones too, to where it's a free app. It'll shoot you a live file as soon as you're done creating it. We do upload them to the to YouTube, to our YouTube channel. And I will put that link into the chat while we're here. But please don't watch it. I'm hoping to have you here for just a minute. So that was great and all, but how do we do this thing? So within our, let me see if I can share my screen one more time here. We have this blog post that we've created to give some instructions on how to do this. And the key thing to know here is this is where you have to sign up. And that's this sign up to begin here. And if you notice how it's kind of skinny and right down the middle, it's made for mobile. It's made to take from mobile, because what they expect you, or what the creators expected, were for people, because it's a device driven app. It's only available on devices, so your iPad, your iPhone, your Android devices. And so they expect you to fill this out from here. But if you can remember, what you use for your username and then your password, you should be fine. And you hit sign up. And then I'm going to stop sharing and go to another screen. Excuse me 1 second. I just want to show you what it looks like when you get to that point. I'm not sure if you can. Are you guys able to see my screen with the Storyvine? Yes, okay. So when you arrive, you'll see, when you download the app, you will sign in with the credentials you created for our templates. And then you will see it has, ready to film, select video guide, change video guide, or I'm ready. So right now, since I filled out, I've already made a donor story. I made one for a local nonprofit in my neighborhood. Now it's kicking me to the nonprofit story as default. So just know this will land on, by default, to the donor template. So you would hit change video guide, and then you would choose which story you're going to create. And it just requires, the donor story just requires your first name and where you're from and the organization you support. The nonprofit story requires the person who is telling the story, the nonprofit name, and then your Colorado Gives URL. I do manage these on the back end, so I will look and see that your organization is on coloradogives.org, and that that information will be available as we post them to YouTube. And I don't know if you noticed, you may not have been able to see it, but as we post these to YouTube, we put your profile URL into that description, because we do want people to continue and to be able to see your organization completely. And that's why we encouraged people to upload that to their profile. And that's also the reason why we upload them to YouTube. Some people don't have YouTube channels, and so we help get them that required YouTube link to get that onto their profiles. All right, do we have any questions so far? Uh-oh, I don't think you guys saw what I was seeing.
I've got a question. This is Paul Plavan. So I've gone in there and shot some sample videos and things along those lines, and I really like the tool. And considering that we, and probably everybody here, has to kind of migrate to more of an online communication with COVID, et cetera, there will be a time where I'm going to need to send communications from Big Brothers Big Sisters, or video content from Big Brothers Big Sisters. There will be a time, obviously, when we're partnering with partners like community foundations. So does it make sense for me to license that separately, or can it be licensed under the community foundation if they choose to move forward with that full licensure, and then be able to manage my artwork within that environment?
Okay, well, the licensure is, that's something we spent on the front end for these two templates. And so it's, the only thing, at the very end of creating these, there's a release statement that you would say that we have the rights to use this video that you've created. But that's the only usage that we are asking for, is for these videos that were submitted. I'm glad you work with media, because when you get into the app, you can actually start, you can actually use the assets you already have. Let me try something, and I don't know if this is going to work, so please Bear with me just for once.
And Brigham and Tracy, do you understand where I'm getting at with that? I'm trying to figure out the best way to kind of utilize this tool, and knowing that I'm going to have to create Big Brothers Big Sisters content exclusively versus things that we're doing together.
I think the tool is meant for you to use as Big Brothers Big Sisters exclusively. You don't need to give any recognition or use Community Foundation at all. This is for you. It should live on your channels. So I don't think you need to worry about Community Foundation. Tracy, am I missing something?
We as the Community Foundation, since we're the regional champion, our video is supporting all 85 nonprofits on the site, but you guys individually should be marketing yourselves. So there are no licensure questions at all involved with the app, as Jaime had said.
Well, and we are recommending that once you do one of these videos, that it will live on our YouTube channel, but also you should download it and use it as you see fit. So that's to your point, Paul. I think that's who was talking because his little thing lit up. You can definitely use it yourself as Big Brothers Big Sisters, and also you should upload it into your Colorado Gives profile. So there's multiple uses of these videos but we do reserve the right to use them, which is good for you guys, in our marketing materials and with the media as they contact us. Our plan is to send these to the media if they want some information so they can use them. So think of that, but you can definitely use this. It's yours, licensed. The software was licensed by us, but we do want you to use these everywhere you possibly can.
Okay, yeah, and that answers my question. I mean, if I can, kind of have a library or, put some assets in there and have our logos reside there and things along those lines for where I'm doing standalone type stuff, and then be able to benefit from your distribution data, that's what I would hope to achieve.
The only thing you would have to do is get those assets onto your phone, because like I said, it's only a mobile device capability.
Yeah, well, and I did that. Yeah, I mean, I went through
and you can add the files, as you. Oops. I'm not seeing very good here.
That's pretty simple.
But if you have a newer iPhone, you have to be sure. Here's a caveat of good information. If you have a new iPhone or the new operating system, you have to let the app have access to your camera roll and your camera and microphone. It's with Apple's new security in this app, it's requiring you to give that app access to your photo video library and your camera and your mic.
Thank you all.
I was hearing a question in there too, sort of about distribution. So I want to make sure I see this tool as being this amazing opportunity that if we had 85 organizations make a video in the next 6 weeks and put it on their Facebook pages, tag the Community Foundation, tag the Southwest Colorado Gives page, which the handle is at SWCOGives. If you tag us, we'll share it. If you guys all go to that Facebook page and share our video that we made for all of you, just imagine how many people are sitting on Facebook right now. Sitting at home, we all know too much screen time, but that's the reality of where we're at. So you share our video, it will help you. We'll share your video, it will help you all. So that's really important. We placed our video on our website. You can put them on your Colorado Gives website as well. There's lots of uses for these videos, and we want to make sure they're really getting circulated out there.
Absolutely. And to piggyback on that, on Colorado Gives Day, the hashtag #COGives is usually trending on that day. So ride that wave, go recognize what people are posting with Colorado Gives Day or within your like where you do business. If you're with, I'm going to use animal shelters for just an example, see what people were talking about and ride those waves, include that hashtag and let people click on it and, see you kind of appearing with that group that the hashtag is grouping up. I really liked what you did by taking us outside with your video. And I think that, when you can take people, especially that we've been, it looks like most of us are in our home office for the most part, except for Dana, she's at the Capitol getting ready for the rally. But there is, some comfort in seeing, what people are doing outside or taking you to their place. I mean, even without these times of being, staying at home or quarantined, even outside of those times, really taking people to where you are, where you're doing your work, has a lot of impact visually. Your message is just as important, but if you can take people there, it just kind of gives a sense of belonging or like understanding, where your work is being done. So who has this, if you can put in the chat or speak up, who has made their Storyvine videos? Just say the organization name for me. We got regional champions, I know for sure.
Looks like we had a hand raised from the La Plata County Humane Society. I believe the La Plata Family Centers created a video. Chat says Youth Zone, Big Brothers, Big Sisters.
Awesome. Sorry, I got 191 of them, so they're all kind of blurring together. I'm actually hoping to create a video that kind of shares a little bit of snippets from some of the better ones. So I'm sorry I didn't recognize. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm starting to recognize a lot of these names, especially Youth Zone. I remember doing that. I put the link in there, and it can get frustrating when you're trying to find the perfect statement or the perfect way of filming it and all those things. I just encourage you to be genuine, play with it, make some, do some practice ones so you can understand how the app works. I'll get it on my end. If I see you going, this is a test, 1, 2, 3, I'm not going to post it and push it, out to the public. I'll understand that it's, probably just a test like it is. And if you don't come back and finish it, I will probably email you and remind you, hey, you started this. Is there anything I can help you to, continue the process and complete it? Because, we want you to tell your stories. We bought this template from Storyvine, or templates from Storyvine, to empower you and your ambassadors, your volunteers, your donors, just to share your story. And I can give you all the reasons why, but I think when you get in there and share it, I think it tells a lot, especially as you're building upon really kind of gaining that momentum, getting people to recognize that your nonprofit is also on Colorado Gives Day. And when other donors from other places, organizations are there, that they recognize you, or they see that you're also going to be on there and they can remember that. So.
It looks like we have a question. I'm going to unmute Jeff.
Oh, sorry, Tracy. No, I just had my hand up when you were asking about the Storyvine videos. Let me take it down for you.
Awesome.
Guys, the big key, and I say this over and over again, this is true for Colorado Gives Day, this is true with Storyvine, this is true with everything we do. Have fun with it. Try it out and have fun with it. Get your donors to try it out and have fun with it. I am sure Brigham will tell you it was a blast to film the video that she did. And you don't have to be perfect. Perfect is out the window, especially this year, but in general, it's speak from your heart. Be excited about, you guys are doing amazing things down there. I had a blast when I came down for RPD whenever, a gazillion years ago, whenever the last RPD was. But I learned so much about the amazing things you're doing down there, and people want to see that. They want to know what you're doing. They want to know how you're surviving COVID. And honestly, just have fun with it. Get out there, do videos. Jaime's right. Try it a few times. And when you get one that you like, he will, I'm going to kind of put him on the spot here, but he will tell you he filmed one of these and it took him a little while to get into it and get excited about it. But once he got it done, his is beautiful. It's very touching because it comes from his heart for one of the nonprofits. So just have fun with this. Life is too short. Have fun.
Right. And, you know, we started in the front of the Smiley. We had to move because motorcycles were going back. We went into the backyard, and then we had a little girl who was screaming at the top of her lungs. And so we just rolled with it. And it wasn't perfect. There were things that I wanted to, you know, play with or edit. And Tracy's like, just let it go. And so we did. And, you know, I think it probably took us an hour to do it. And, you know, and that was a couple takes, but then also moving, and then the boards behind me would fall because the wind would blow. And we just, you know, just went with it as much as we could. It's, I think Dana's right. You know, perfection is just passe.
Absolutely. And it doesn't end necessarily at Colorado Gives Day. Like, this isn't, you know, it's branded as Colorado Gives Day, but, you know, this is going to be available to you at least through March. So, you know, like, for instance, like the donor template, you know, it asks you like why giving matters, like what inspires you, and sharing gratitude. Oh, heck, use it as a thank you video to your donors, and include it on your social media or something like that, you know, because it's like, you know, we really, you know, your giving really matters to us for these reasons. And, you know, you've inspired us from this past Colorado Gives Day with this great success. And I would just want to thank everyone and give you that gratitude for, you know, helping us, you know, achieve our goals, or, you know, just take that opportunity to repurpose these templates. Just to, I mean, I wish I had somebody on staff to help me with video. I mean, that would be just fantastic. Like, I don't have time to necessarily do all that, but I also feel like, hey guys, we need to get these messages out with video, because that's what people are playing on our social media channels. They're not liking our links, and they're not liking this little, you know, word clouds and stuff like that. They want video. So, you know, consider that. It's going to be available for you through March. Everything you record will save onto your phone, not with the brand on there, but just the video you took. So yeah, you got all sorts of assets to work with. And that's really was my goal, was to get those in your hands and get people to start making videos.
Great. Jaime, if it's all right, I'd like to see if Tracy has anything that she would like to add. Tracy, do you have anything else?
Yeah, absolutely. I'll just circle back to some local stuff that we have going on that piggybacks off of what Dana and Jaime have already shared. I will share my screen here. Let's see. One of the things that a lot of you are familiar with is our e-booklet that we put together for our donor advised funds. So we're part of that pilot program that Dana mentioned earlier, for donor advised funds to be able to donate directly from their fund with e-giving cards. And so I gave you guys the opportunity to participate. I've got to get to my little arrow. I got to move you guys around a second. There you go. And you'll see this booklet. This was sent to our donor advised funds yesterday. Well, I can't get it to keep going. Keep turning the page. Let's see here. There we go. So you'll see your organizations listed here. It hyperlinks right to your Give site on Colorado Gives, and our donor advised fund holders can look through this brochure. They can look at your most recent year-end COVID asks, which are really pertinent and timely, and then it'll take them right to the site. We're really happy with it. We're excited to see what our donor advised funds think about with this opportunity to look through the booklet. You guys are welcome to utilize it. I sent the link out this morning via email. This lives on my website, so I will stop this share and show you my website as well. Let's try this one. So in 2 places on my website, I've got our donor videos. So this is the regional champion donor video that we did for all of the nonprofits. And then we made a donor video as well. And one of our past board presidents shared a video about why she donates. And this one is directly to us. So as the Community Foundation, raising money for ourselves. And so this lives on our website, and we're going to put it up on SWCOGives as well. We'll share it out via social media, of course. We're going to try and, just have these opportunities to get as much legs as we can for a little while. We've got 6 weeks, and I know internally we've talked a lot about we'll be fighting with some election news for a couple of weeks, but we want to make sure you guys at least are excited enough to launch your appeals now and know that we're just going to keep ramping up as we get closer and closer. And I've got one more screen to share with you guys. This is just some of the information. This all lives in emails from me, but it gives you some things to remember for our local campaign here. Use that Google Drive link. Make sure you bookmark it. It's got all of the, those great graphics for social media that have our local branding that will help our local donors understand the opportunity to give and how we've got 85 nonprofits at the site. An idea, we're going to do the coffee sleeves again, and I know it's hard to get out and about, but we're probably all still going to the coffee shop pretty regularly. So I'll send you guys out a list of where those coffee sleeves will be available in each of the counties. Go to the coffee shop, take a picture, tag the coffee shop where you're at, the Silver Bean, Durango Joe's, Higher Ground. We've got them across all the counties. It'd be fun and a great way to support the coffee shops who are supporting us, give you guys some new material to play with. Look for the timeline that we put together with those templates. It lives in the Google Drive. So by this week, everybody should be following us on both Facebook and Instagram at SWCOGives. Make sure you tag us and we'll share your posts too. So you'll get that many more people to see your posts. If you have currently 100 followers and we have 300, your 100 will see it, we'll share it, more followers, we'll see it, you'll gain more followers and more donors. We've got that link to the donor e-magazine, which I just shared. Don't forget to use the Storyvine app for those free nonprofit videos. And I love Jaime's idea to continue to use them after December 8th, make a thank you video. Again, we'll keep sharing those with you guys so we get lots of coverage. And then into the spring, you'll have this opportunity. Once you get the hang of it, it's really very easy to use. And don't forget to use those hashtags, SWCOGives, Colorado Gives, Give Where You Live. We just want you guys to get excited about getting some donors to your site. You guys your job is to share your own organizations with donors and drive people to your giving site. And as Dana likes to remind us, year round. We've got December 8th, but it's there all year. It's a great tool, great resource for you guys. So I'm happy to open it up for any questions if anybody's got any.
Just an FYI, you guys, through the end of October, we've raised $13 million through the site this year. That's more than double what we would normally have raised through the end of October. Usually we raised about 6 million through the end of October, and we're at 13 million. So donors are given. I'm going to keep saying that. Donors are given.
That's great news, because I think we are worried about year-end giving. So many of our local donors have given to SURF and Human Services. It's good to hear they're still giving.
I got a question.
Yes, Paul?
What's a hashtag?
So, you know the little number sign from when we were kids?
I see it all over the place.
Yeah, so you can actually search on social media. You could go into your search bar and search SWCOGives, and then that would pull up everybody who put that hashtag on their post. you'll get to see what all the other nonprofits in the region are doing with that hashtag.
And I'll share a secret. On Colorado's Gives Day, I sit down with Richard Valentine and we do just that. We search the hashtag and then he can see all the different posts and he can see what people are doing and how they're doing it. And I don't think he's the only one that does that, but it's important. You know, he's wanting to see who is posting and then sure he goes and makes some donations on his own, but you know, he's getting used to social media and he's doing better. And I think that generation is catching on because that's how they can stay connected.
Fortunately, I have
Absolutely. And the
people smarter than me that know what a hashtag is, so I'll get them to use it.
But you never know, like at the National Cowboy Museum in Oklahoma, when they closed, they wanted to continue their social media. And so they got the head of security to do it. And he also didn't know what a hashtag was. So he decided, they said, can you just put hashtag the cowboy? So he did. He put hashtag the cowboy. And I bought one of his shirts because he totally inspired me. But it does group up, you know, when people are talking about things, just a way to create a group of posts that share with that hashtag.
Yeah.
But don't feel alone, Paul. Was it Paul? Yeah, don't feel alone. I really enjoy this campaign and how it went. Hashtag the cowboy. So if you guys have a minute, check them out. It's pretty cool.
Any other questions or concerns or just frustrations that maybe we could help out with? We still have 28 people on the line. I know not everybody's showing their pretty faces, but I mean, this is a great time. We've got Dana.
You guys ready? Come on, we're ready. We're gonna go make lots of money. Yay!
Lots of money.
Our
Lots of
Southwest
money.
goal this year, we want to raise more than we did last year. So over $300,000 is our goal. I'll be getting the cohorts together the week before Thanksgiving to see if you guys want to put on your creative thinking hats and how can we in these COVID times get together. I know in La Plata County, we'll be doing our radio interviews again. We can see what Montezuma County nonprofits would like to get creative doing, Archuleta. So I'll be reaching out to try and get some collaborative county cohorts getting inspired.
So I'm not seeing the chat's not blowing up and you guys aren't raising your hand. So what I want to do is be respectful of your time and make sure that you can know what's coming up. These Chew on This seminars are going to keep going through the end of the year. So we have a couple more. So on November 17th at noon again, we're doing Don't Be a Zoom Zombie. Learn bells and whistles to host engaging and interactive virtual meetings and retreats. And retreats can be really important as we come upon the next year. A lot of us do a board retreat, a board orientation. So this will be some tricks about how to keep that lively. And then on December 1st, Sandia will be talking about strategic planning in a time of uncertainty. And then December 15th, we have Amber Cote from the Colorado Nonprofit Association, and she's going to do a webinar on board development. And yes, you should be recruiting and onboarding during a pandemic. You've got to keep your board strong. You have to have maybe even more board members because you're asking them to do more because you can't get out as easily. And so just a lot of great professional development through the end of the year. And so we're glad to bring it to you and we hope that you'll join us and learn a lot. So before we sign off, anything in the chat that we need to talk about? We all good? So I just want to say thank you to everybody. We had a great turnout today. If you weren't a part of our e-brochure, I'm sorry. We had some deadlines, we did some reminding, but there's only so much we could do with our own internal deadlines, so it was ready for sending today. But certainly keep your eyes out. We'll do it at some point. If it's successful, we're going to see how it goes first and see if people use it. But I just think it's really beautiful, and I love our designer and Tracy found that that snack. Oh, you're on mute.
I didn't want to unmute. It's Flip Snack.
flip snack. So it actually makes a little page turning sound. It's super cute. Take a look at that and see if there's, it's not very expensive, and I think it's going to be great. We're going to actually do our annual report on it as well and post it on our website so people can look through. So without further ado, thank you so much for coming. Have a great week, and we look forward to seeing you in 2 weeks for our next Chew on This.